Dropshipping is a lot like a hamster wheel. You learn some new strategy from a guru who just popped on your feed this week, and as you test a new product using their system, you think to yourself, I finally figured it out. This next test is going to be the one. But then a few days later, you check your ads manager and you see that Mark Zuckerberg Thanos snapped your money away, and you're back to square one. And you think to yourself, he can't keep getting away with this, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. So you watch guru after guru, maybe even buy their $197 course, but no matter what new way of dropshipping you try, it always crashes and burns. Or you don't really make enough money for it to really be life-changing, which at the end of the day is what we actually want. Not rented Lambos and popping ketamine in bottles with gold-digging models. No, we want a business that allows us to break free from that soul-sucking 9-to-5, or just live life to its truest potential, where we have a business that's making us sale after sale after sale, even when we're not working. Now, after getting expelled from high school at 15 and having my dreams of working in finance essentially just thrown out the window, I realized I needed to figure out how the hell would I actually afford the dream life I wanted, where I could buy the roly-poly that hypnotizes the Latinas on the dance floor, or buy my dream house on the water in Fort Lauderdale, or just prove to all the haters and doubters that I am that guy. So just like you, I searched on YouTube how to make money online, and I saw countless videos for Forex and Amazon FBA, but dropshipping really stuck with me because I would just see, frankly, kids my age that were idiots making thousands of dollars a day. So I thought to myself, naturally, if they can figure it out, then why can't I? And I found myself going from strategy to strategy, where some strategies would just be incredibly half-baked and not really give you enough information to really make sales that can change your life, or they would just be incredibly complex to execute, where you would feel like, I need a PhD in rocket science to actually be able to do this. But it wasn't until I had my first winning product that I realized there were 3 massive lies that these gurus just keep preaching like the gospel, and it will kill your store and just any dream of you actually making a full-time income from dropshipping. And once I learned this, I was able to finally scale not 1, not 2, but over 10 plus products at this point to over $5.2 million in sales. And I am not special by any means. In fact, I would say I am borderline retarded, but once you get it, you get it, which is why I enjoy helping countless brand builders like yourself how to actually scale to $1,000 a day without making it too complicated. So in this video, I'll expose those 3 lies so you can just cut through the BS and know what it actually takes to build a profitable e-commerce business. So this week I was in my Discord server just lurking around like a child predator at a local preschool, and I saw this message from one of my members who had been dropshipping for a few months now and had tested over 20 plus products, but still hadn't had his first winner. So I reached out to him, and he basically said that all the advice he was learning online and from his mentors were basically just telling him that he needs to test more, that he's one product away. If you just brute force it enough, keep testing, eventually you're going to get a winning product. And in theory, that really doesn't sound too harmful. And there are a lot of people that just simply don't test enough products, but that wasn't the case for him. And if I've been trying a testing strategy and I have failed 5 times, 10 times, over 20 plus times, there's probably something wrong with the strategy. So I decided to pop the hood and just take a look at what products he had actually tested, because maybe there was something wrong with the way he was choosing it. So after looking at his list, I realized over half the products that he had tested and failed with, either my students or I had already scaled them to over $1,000 a day. And that leads me to the first lie that you're going to hear over and over again as a dropshipper, which is that the only way you can be successful and have your first winner is that you need to mass test a bunch of products, have a ton of failure and trial and error to eventually get to that first winner. And this strategy will burn a hole through your wallet because you're not giving these products enough time or quality when you're testing them to actually become a winner. It's honestly a lot like trying to find a wife by speed dating 50 different women in the same night and just giving them 2 minutes to build a connection with you. And it doesn't matter how much Riz you have or how expensive your $2,000 Ralph Lauren cowboy jacket is, you're just not going to find love that way. Because the reality is all these products that you're testing and failing with and labeling them as losers, they could have been winners for you, but you just simply didn't put enough time and attention to really have a chance of making them work. Because right now, you're chasing winning products. You're testing with ripped ads and crappy websites that look like they were built in 2017 when Facebook CPMs were $5. You see, with these winning products, you're a lot like a dog chasing cars. you wouldn't even know what to do if you got one. Because homie, if you want your first winning product, a lot like turning a girl into your wife and future bearer of your D1 babies, then you need to give it your full attention and commitment, even if it doesn't work out. Which, yes, historically, 90% of the time, these products won't work for you, but 100% of the time, they won't work if you're not giving it the proper time and attention and you're just putting in the bare minimum when testing. So hopefully now at this point, you're convinced that yes, mass testing products and just hoping and praying something sticks, it's just not the right way to go, because even if you do get lucky, you're not going to be able to actually scale that product consistently for the long term because you don't really know why it became a winner in the first place. So now you may be thinking, okay, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Because as someone who talks to e-com entrepreneurs all the time, it's definitely becoming more of a trend to focus on making your store seem more fancy and branded, or having a pre-sale page or these complicated funnels to really educate your customer before you send them directly to a product page. And there seems to be this stigma that regular product pages that don't take a lot of time to make don't really convert anymore. And I agree that there are some vital things you need to have on any website for a product test if you want to actually give it a chance of working. Like if you don't have the right offer or urgency or social proof, or if people don't truly believe your product actually works, then yeah, they're just not going to buy. And I can definitely understand as a dropshipper, if you've been trying regular product pages and they just haven't been working for you because you most likely been missing one of those key elements, then yeah, I'm going to over course correct. I'm going to blame the product page and then just say, okay, let me try a different way of implementing this. So let me try these funnels or a more branded approach, because that's the thing that I feel like I've been missing. And one of the biggest flawed mindsets you can have as a dropshipper is thinking the more time and energy I spend preparing a product, the more likely it is to work for me. So instead of just being efficient and also focusing on quality by spending a few days to prepare a product, I'll spend a few weeks to get all these listicles done, these pre-sale pages, and make sure the branding feels perfect for this product before I even launch it. And again, that sounds all great in theory, and I can understand from your perspective, if you look at a regular dropshipping store as someone who's on the other side of the wall, you're obviously not going to buy from a store that looks like that because you know it's a dropshipper. But your customers don't know that. We are marketing to impulse purchasers who frankly don't care how much time and energy you put into your website. As long as you have the key elements there, you have the right offer, urgency, social proof, things are believable, and they like your offer, they're going to buy no matter what it is that your website looks like. And as a dropshipping purist who's been doing this for 7 years, guys, I wish that was how the world works, where our customers really truly cared about our logo and how great it looks on our product with AI and our color scheme and all the attention to detail we put in. But they don't. They simply just do not care. In fact, most people will not even scroll down past your above the fold section on your product page. So it just doesn't make sense to spend weeks over analyzing, trying to perfect the perfect product page or funnel for a product, when the reality is 90% of products, no matter what you do, are going to fail, because more time simply does not equal more results. In fact, I remember building my first ever product page and it took me weeks to do. But it didn't convert whatsoever because I didn't have the right offer, I had poor urgency, and I really didn't know what I was doing with my copywriting. And flash forward to today, I can see a product, I can launch a product page within the same day, but because I have all the key aspects and variables nailed down, it will convert straight from the get-go. And when you look at the top dropshipping brands in the world today, the ones doing over 8 figures a year, like Bleem, for instance, they have an incredibly basic product page. They didn't spend weeks overanalyzing, trying to build a perfect funnel and listicle and doing all this market research. No, they just understood that if I have the core aspects of a winning product that we market to the right audience and have the right offer that we serve to them and have some urgency and social proof so people actually believe that the product can work for them, then it doesn't matter if we have a basic product page or a 10-step funnel to get people to convert. Because honestly, spending weeks researching your audience and trying to perfect the funnel and your ads and every little detail for one product is a lot like planning a month-long vacation for a girl you just met. It's way too much money, time, and energy for something that 90% of the time isn't going to even end up working out, because you would have had the same odds of taking this girl out on a second date and potentially being your wife without having to do the whole month-long Santorini excursion just by taking her to Chili's for triple dippers and putting on a normal nice outfit like a $2,000 Ralph Lauren cowboy jacket and just having good conversation and banter. Because women, just like your customers, don't care about all this superficial appearance stuff. They just care about the actual things that have substance, which on your website is having a compelling offer, proper social proof, and the right copywriting and messaging that speaks directly to them. So just realize, to sound smart, gurus are going to try to preach that complexity equals more sales, when the actual reality is a basic product page with the right key fundamentals that takes you only a few hours to build will have the same success rate as the most complicated, beautiful funnel in the world that takes you a few weeks to build. In fact, if you want access to all the product page templates that I've used to generate over $5.2 million in sales, along with all the ad frameworks that I consistently use when I'm testing products, then you can click the first link in the description and apply to my one-on-one coaching program. And along with all these resources and AI prompts that we'll give you so that you can test products at a high quality level efficiently, literally in a few hours, you'll get 5 group coaching calls a week with yours truly, where I will roast your product list, your website, your ads, and basically just tell you what you are doing right, but most importantly, what you're doing wrong and what you need to fix so that you can actually scale to $1,000 a day. Now, when you're trying to find your way in the dropshipping space, you're inevitably going to stumble upon the idea of, what if I just abandon doing paid ads and just go all in with organic? Because the margins are significantly higher. There's no doubt about it. In dropshipping, the biggest expense is always going to be ad spend. And there's a big but. When you see these kids that are flexing those 10, 20, 30 grand profit months, and kudos to them, that is incredibly impressive, what you'll tend to notice is that it doesn't last. Because they got an initial boost of sales that came from one video going viral, getting a few million views. But once that video dies down, they're back to square one. That business has completely collapsed after scaling to thousands of dollars a day in sales. But when you have a winning product with the organic model of dropshipping, then the ceiling for scaling is so much lower because it's all dependent and reliant on the algorithm. You have really no control on whether or not you're going to make $1,000 a day in sales or $5,000, because again, it's all based on luck and virality, which is not how you run a business. But with paid ads, when you have that winning creative, your scaling potential is to the moon. It's based on how many new winning ads can you make after you've gotten that first initial winning ad. And obviously, with each winning ad you get, the more money you can spend profitably to keep scaling your business. And it's way more consistent. And it's a lot like building an ATM machine where you're putting $1 in and you're getting $2 back or $3 back as you keep optimizing your offer, your traffic, and making better creatives when you learn what creatives are already working for you, which with organic is just simply not the case. You're just posting videos all willy-nilly, and you're really essentially just buying lottery tickets, and you're hoping the algorithm rewards you and you somehow win that lottery. And even if you do, you got to keep winning the lottery again and again and again to actually be able to scale. And it just takes so much more time and energy to do organic dropshipping too, because every day you need to be planning new content, which means you have to be on TikTok and Instagram, scrolling, seeing new hooks, seeing new formats, new music, all of that. You just have to live that life. And again, the prize at the end of the rainbow is significantly less than the prize if you master paid ads. But when you have a winning paid ad, you don't have to put that much time and energy into it. In fact, you can just make 10, 20, 50 hook variations, which really doesn't take any time at all, because you can just use ChatGPT to whip up new ideas, or make 20 to 50 new headline variations if you're doing only image ads and that's what's working for you, which again, you can't do if you're doing organic dropshipping. And not to mention, when you have a winning ad where you're putting $1 in and you're getting $2 or $3 back, that ad usually is going to last you a few weeks and sometimes even a few months if you really have a winner on your hands, compared to if you get a viral video with organic dropshipping, it's usually going to last you a day, maybe 2 max, and then it's going to be dead. So yes, while paid ads have a steeper learning curve and you do need a bigger budget to get started, the traffic is way more controllable and you have the ability to scale your winning ads much faster than if you're trying to rely solely on the TikTok or Instagram algorithm. So if you want to actually develop the skill of direct response to make any product a winner, instead of just throwing money blindly at products or hoping that an algorithm picks up one of your videos, then you are going to learn paid ads. And I would highly recommend checking this video next so you know exactly how to find the perfect customer avatar, the benefits, the transformations, and basically all the goodness you are going to need to create winning ads on repeat for any product that you choose.